So, okay, brilliant. So we're starting our recording there. It is lovely to welcome you all along. Mrs. Hoy is going to be sharing her slides now, so I'm going to hand over to her. But this is our phonics and reading parents meeting. Let's invite in our last person, and I'll hand over to Mrs. Hoy. Welcome along, Manor Hill. We're just starting, so you're perfectly timed.
Lovely. Welcome, everybody. So I'm going to talk you through sort of the process of phonics and reading in reception and year one, and in some cases in year two as well. So basically, the programme that we use at Watermill is Little Wandle Letters and Sounds. And the choice behind choosing this programme a couple of years ago is that it's a programme that's been developed by schools, so we can make sure that it meets all the expectations of the national curriculum, and it was really supporting our children to make accelerated progress. We've seen over the last couple of years that it's made a real difference to our phonics screening results at the end of year one. However, where the programme is really good is that it doesn't just teach the children to those expectations, it goes beyond that, so that we're actually teaching them more than they need to know for the test, because the test, whilst it's important at the end of year one, for later on in life, the most important thing is that the children can read and that they can comprehend what they're reading. So just a little background information, that when we first started this project about 3 years ago now, we first of all worked alongside Little Sutton Primary Hub, and there was a lot of intense support and monitoring to ensure that the programme was in place, that the staff were trained, and that the children were responding, and that we were teaching them in exactly the right way that we should be. We were part of a group of 18 schools, and we were really successful because we actually came top of the class and had the highest phonics results that year. This has also continued this academic year, and we've managed to maintain such good results as well. So in terms of the programme itself, all staff in school have undergone intense training. So it doesn't matter whether they are teaching the phonics discreetly in reception year one or year two. Even our year six teacher and year six teaching staff have also completed the training. This is so that if we have to pull and use any staff in school because of absences or teachers on courses, it means that they have the most up-to-date training to be able to deliver the programme successfully. So reception in year one, they take part in phonics sessions for 30 minutes every single day of the week. Currently, due to reception being new into school, their sessions start off at about 15 minutes. And once they are a little bit more settled by October half term, that will increase to 30 minutes each day. At the beginning of year two, the children continue their phonics sessions up until Christmas. Any pupil where we find that they might need a bit of extra support with their phonics, they will receive additional catch-up and keep-up sessions, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later on. So it's really important that when we are teaching the children in school that we are using the correct pronunciation. So within our school website, I'm just going to flick from the presentation now. I'm going to show you on our school website, if you go into the curriculum section and find the phonics section, first of all, we've got our policy. So that's our phonics and early reading policy. But if you scroll right to the bottom, there are lots and lots of resources here that can help you if you want to do some extra work with the children at home. That work at home is really beneficial, but in terms of pronunciation, you need to make sure that you have a little look at these videos so that we can make sure the pronunciation that we're using in school is also being used at home. And there are some little YouTube videos there that can show you how to do that, along with sort of progression, today's parents meeting PowerPoint, some tricky words and blending. So when you've got time, if you have a little look through that, that'll give you lots more information too. So in terms of assessments, so assessments are carried out on a regular basis, and regular is 6 times a year at the end of every half term. That means that we can ensure that the children are making the expected progress, and we can check that they are on the right journey, so that by the time they leave reception that they are at a certain level, and by the time they leave year one they're at a certain level as well. So those children who require a bit of extra support, they'll have had their phonics teaching in the morning. If it's recognised that they haven't retained some of the information from that session, or they haven't been able to get a particular sound in that session, we will then work on that in the afternoon. So there is time in the afternoon where the children are individually supported by the teaching assistant. So the support is tailored to each individual child to make sure that we can close gaps quickly and that they can catch up with their peers. For children who require further support, they will then be assessed every 3 weeks to make sure that those gaps can also be addressed, but equally that we're not spending 6 weeks working on a skill that they've mastered at week 3, so that we can move on really quickly and they can catch up. If at any point we feel that a child needs extra support because they haven't understood the new learning for that particular day, they will participate in catch-up, which also happens in our year 3, 4, 5 and 6 class. So please don't worry if your child requires extra support. We ensure that they get that as and when they need it. So in terms of reading at Watermill, so I'm going to move on to the reading section. There will be opportunities at the end for you to ask questions. So keep them in mind, and I'll give you that opportunity if anybody does want to ask questions at the end. So the children participate in reading activities every single day. Through the Little Wandle programme, the children are able to read to an adult at least 3 times per week. There is a specific timetable which I'm going to share with you in a moment. During the Little Wandle reading sessions, the children focus on a different skill each day to ensure that we are not just focusing on the application of phonics, but we're also embedding other skills like comprehension within that as well. So a typical timetable might look like this. So on Monday, the children will read as a whole class. That will be done in sort of all classes, and they might focus on sort of specific reading of parts of a story, a whole story, and then lots and lots of questions and lots of sequencing activities or inference activities might be happening during that session. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, this is the Little Wandle programme. So on a Tuesday, we'll focus on using and applying their phonics through decoding. On a Wednesday, they will look at using prosody. So that's how we use our voice to make reading exciting. So if it's a character reading in a story, the children will know to read that in a particular way. And then on a Thursday, we focus on the comprehension. So all on the 3 days, they read exactly the same book. This is to develop their confidence. And also so that by the time they get to the Thursday, they've been exposed to the story 3 times, which means they'll have the understanding to be able to answer some of the questions that come up during that session. Then on a Friday, those reading activities will be related to sort of the phonics that they've done during that week, or it might be to do with the phonics that they might need a bit of extra support with. So in terms of reading, on a Tuesday, the book that the children are reading in their class sessions through Little Wandle, they will bring that book home. The expectation is that this is the book that you can use to support them to learn to read. However, they will already be able to read around 90% of the book without your support. And the reason behind this is that a number of years ago, we were looking at challenging pupils, and there might have been a number of words within a story that they might not have been able to read. Well, research has shown that actually when children find reading difficult, they don't want to do it anymore. So with this programme and with any other programme, they're sent books home that they are confident to read, because then they have an enjoyment for reading, and it accelerates their progress. If at any point you have any concerns over your children's reading ability, please speak to your child's class teacher. There are lots and lots of things that we can signpost you to. We have parents' evening before October half term, but that's not the only time you can speak to your teacher. You can speak to them at the end of the day. Others also a session during assembly time on a Monday morning where you can book a slot to speak to your child's class teacher. It's a matter of importance that with the books that are sent home on a Tuesday, they come back to school the following Monday. And the reason is that we only have a certain amount of books. And if they're not returned, then the next group that takes them home the following week, it means that sort of the process is slowed down a little bit. So it's really important that books are returned on time. And actually, they do need to be in school every single day, just so that we can make sure that when the children are read to in class, we can be recording that in their reading record books, as well as you recording in the experiences they have at home with reading as well. Alongside their Little Wonder reading book, they should also be bringing a library book home as well. What's really important about the library book is that these aren't used to teach reading, because there are going to be words in there that either they haven't been taught the phonics skills for, but equally, if they're tricky words, they might not have come across them in their learning journey within the classroom, which is why we say that please use these to develop a love of reading. Use them at bedtime to share with your children, when the children come home from school. You read to the children, because actually modelling that also helps the children to make progress as well. If you show a love of reading, the children will also show a love of reading too. So it was a whistle-stop tour. Has anybody got any questions that they want to ask with regards to reading and phonics? I'm just going to stop sharing. Come back.
So I really appreciate the way that you clarified there that there are going to be the two books that come home. So there's the reading book that the children have had, and that's one that they've been practicing in class, and that's that phonics book that they will be hopefully confident with it because they've covered it as they've gone through. And then there's that separate book as well that's just like a reading for pleasure book that might not be accessible for the children, so it might be a great one for parents to read to them. Was that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions they wanted to ask? That's okay. You're being very comprehensive. Oh, hello there.
Hello.
Anyway, welcome along. Lovely to have you along. Thank you. We've just got part way through, so you'll be able to watch the recording up till now as well. I'll just let you know it is being recorded. Have you got any questions so far? Anything there? No, that's okay. If you want,
Hi, sorry, yeah, I was just a bit due to the time difference, yeah, I'm just abroad at the moment, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us for
No,
abroad. It's lovely to have you with us.
Sorry.
No, not at all. So the whole thing's available. We've suggested to people if they want to turn cameras off, that's absolutely fine. Just because then you're not, because we noticed in the last recording it started kind of spotlighting some of the parents, and you may not want to be in there. You're welcome to leave it on if you want to. But otherwise, I think Mrs. Hoy will hand back to you.
Yeah. Mr. Hill, that is the end of the presentation that I've got.
Okay.
So
okay,
actually,
that's lovely.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. We've got a really comprehensive breakdown that's there. What we'll do is I'll send the details of the recording out for you. So if you missed this first bit, that's okay. It'll be on the webinar's webpage. What I'll do is I will stop the recording there. So thank you all for watching. We hope it's been useful.
Excuse me.
There we go.